Hi everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen and I'm going to show you how to make the Very Hungry Caterpillar. This is the last decoration that I'm going to show you on my children's classic literature cake. It's the Very Hungry Caterpillar, and I guess it's not the last, this is like part one of the last. I'm going to show you his food too in another video, but let's do the caterpillar. Alright, I went online, printed out a nice size and picture that I liked of him, trimmed it out. And now I am tracing him out with my X-Acto knife on some green that I rolled out pretty thin. He's not too thin, but he's pretty thin. You can see I'm using my paint stirrer stick there to measure thickness. Now when I traced him out, I didn't bother with his antenna or his legs. You can see I'm just kind of trimming away as if he was not a very hungry caterpillar, but more like I guess you could call him a very hungry worm if you wanted to. But we're going to come back to those later, so they don't really matter for now. So once you get them all trimmed out nice and neat, you're going to find where his head is and cut it off just like that. If you're going to have him standing up, I would still do him as a flat. I can't imagine him being 3D. He would probably look like a pile of green poop, honestly. So leave him a little thicker and then leave his head on to support the weight of everything else. But since he's going on the side of the cake, I decapitated him. Now, as you can see here, I am using my knife to make pressure marks and lines on his body to separate his segments to make them stand out a little bit better. So I'm using the template just to kind of guide it along. You can see where he curls in. They bunch together, or they stretch out. Like he's very uneven in every way. His coils are uneven, his color's uneven, he's very uneven. Now I went ahead and put him on a paper towel to make him, easier to move around and handle. And now we're coming back to his head. I just rolled out some nice bright red, trace it out. Again, don't worry about the antenna, and where it connects to his body, I'm just going to use my knife and just give it a good slice right there. And then you got his head. And don't worry about being all round and smooth if you have sharp edges, because he does have sharp edges. He's not a round and cuddly caterpillar. He's a very hungry caterpillar. So there's a difference. I used water, stuck it up against the body, and just kind of pressed it really tight against each other. And again, that's where if you were going to have it standing upright free on the cake, you would want support, so leave the green. Since he's going on the side of the cake, he's decapitated and it'll be fine. Now I'm going to his eyes. You could see I traced it out on the template using my X-Acto knife, and then I traced that into the yellow right there. It did get a little misshapen, so I'm just kind of patting it back into shape. You can trim it a little if you need to, whatever you need to do. Like I said, this guy is so uneven, so asymmetrical. Any little mistake is going to be hidden. No one is going to notice, so don't sweat it too much. It'll be fine, as you could see there too. I used the template to just place the eyes in the right spot. Shape them up a little bit. You can really see how uneven they are in this picture here, and just keep going. Now I'm adding little balls of green, little oval, cylinders, whatever you call it, Tic Tacs of green, to his eyes, and then I'm going to use a tool to spread them out. A lot of people will stop here and be like, oh, look at that, we've got a green little hungry caterpillar. Okay, don't stop here. It looks so much better with all the other colors added in. So go the extra step. Keep going with this with me, all right? Don't quit yet. All right, we're going to make them look amazing. And yeah, so back to the eyes. Yes, got him in place. That little piece, you could probably barely see it on your screen, is his nose. It's kind of like a little wonky triangle. It's the right size, put it up, right shape, right spot, and stick it in place with a little bit of water. I'm using that tool there to just kind of smooth it. It was very triangular, the cut I made, and his picture should be a little rounded on one end. So I'm just trying to make it look a little better. Now, this is the painting part. This is actually a lot of fun for me. I'm using the blue, light green, copper, and a dark green. Look up your caterpillar online, and you're going to find pictures of him, and you're going to see the colors really stand out in certain coils. And I use the green as a background color, and I'm painting on top of it. And I realize now if I had it to do over again, I would have done it in like a yellow or a lime color, because these blues and everything are really getting lost. And he does have yellow that shows through that I just can't produce on this. So do better than me and start with more like a lime or yellow. Now anyway, I added blue. You're going to see segments in the pictures that are just stand out as blue, so fill those in blue. I'm using a dark green right now, and it's the same idea. Look at the pictures of them. Certain segments are going to really stand out as being dark green. Certain areas, I'm going sideways. I'm making blotches in some of the colors. I'm adding a little bit of water. You can use vodka, whatever you want, I just use water because it's what I have. And I'm just painting it in. And you're just fill them in, make them blotchy. Like I said, his colors run across the divides we made. They blend in. You're going to see several colors in one section. You're going to see colors in heavy streaks that kind of look like a mess. So you really can't mess them up, but just keep going. I'm using the copper now, filling it in here and there, going to the sides, leaving some of it empty, just make him blotchy. I'm even adding some to his face right here. I'm adding a little bit of the copper. I'm going to go ahead and add later on a little bit of the green to it because I didn't feel like the copper was doing it on the red. Just be careful the yellow of the eyes. That was pretty much the only color that stayed true. I even did, as you saw right there, his nose and the pupils in his eyes. So just keep on going until you're happy with the results, until you have them all splotchy and colorful and very unique, like the Very Hungry Caterpillar is. He's not your typical little caterpillar. So by the time you get it all done, he should be a nice mess, and then you're ready to move on to other things. See? Doesn't he look good right there? He really does look good. Don't stop yet. We're still going. Okay, his antenna. I ignored them all this time, but now I'm coming back to them. They're gray. I used the template, as you saw, trimmed out 2 little bunny ears. It was a little fat, so I made it a little thinner because the gray is so small. It pulled a little. I'm using a brown food coloring marker, and then I used water on a paintbrush and then smeared it with my fingers, as you can see, to give him that roughed up and dirtied look. And then I stuck it on the cake. I put him on the cake before I did all this because he was starting to dry and I didn't want him to crack. So I had to get him on there. But it was no big deal. You just stick the antenna on. Now I'm making his legs. You can see I'm doing a straight up line angle. And from that corner angle, straight up angle, straight up angle. He's got 6 little legs, I believe. I don't really remember anymore. But we're going to I'll show you. And you just do a line straight across the top. And then you've got these squares, right? So you make a cut from the top to the middle angle, and you've got a little boot. So they're upside down right now, and there you go. So you cut it, and you got a boot. And then you take it, cut it, you got a boot. Cut it, you got a boot. And you're just going to pull off the extra part. And see, we got our little feet now. I'm sure that was so clear in my describing it. It was hard to describe. But anyway, you got little boots, and make sure that they're different shapes, different sizes. They can't be all the same. Some look like suction cups, some look like letter L's, some look like little boots, again with the brown marker to just kind of rough them up a bit. And because they were a little bit longer, I trimmed off some of the extra, and even that part leaves some longer than the other. Now this is kind of a weird angle, but I'm sorry about that, but you can get it. I'm sticking 1 foot for each segment. For the front, there's going to be 4 on the front. Oh, that was my son, the one who in my old video ate the centipede or the millipede. Anyway, and 2 on the back segments, and use your template again to line them up. Stick it on there, and he looks freaking amazing. I really like how he came out. This is why you do the extra steps with the painting, guys, because it really changes how he looks. So check out my other videos. Please like and subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching Caketastic Cakes.